what is one thing about disinformation that you wish more people knew about?
I think we still, as a society, we really don't understand how large effect disinformation has on us as a society as a whole, and especially this kind of polarizing effect. So we see that more and more societies and countries, nations are becoming divided. There's a lot of infighting inside the communities and inside the societies, and I think this is extremely damaging to democracies around the world.
So is there something that we can do about it?
I think there's a lot we can do about it. Usually politicians and policymakers don't want to hear this, but I think the key is in education, focusing on media literacy, critical thinking, integrating it into the education system so that it goes throughout the whole kind of education process. But the reason why politicians don't want to talk about this, it takes time, it takes a lot of money, it's quite costly to do this, but it's the most effective way to fight disinformation online and offline.
So you come from Finland, and Finland is often placed as this beacon of media information literacy. What are some key aspects of why would people say that Finland is the number one in media literacy teaching?
I think it kind of comes from this history that we had very good results in these PISA tests, where like the education system was kind of evaluated, and basically traditionally Finland has been considered this like to have a good high level in education, but also we have a long history with the Soviet Union, with Russia, and with their influence operations there's nothing new about them. They started that like 1920s already in Finland, so we kind of understand how they operate. Mm-hmm. And throughout these decades, we've kind of built up this resilience against their operations, and we know how they work. So kind of integrating a defense system or system of cognitive resilience into the education system came through that history that we share with the Soviets and with the Russians. So together combined, like the high level education system that Finland traditionally has and the history with Russia and the Soviet Union, we have kind of built this unique system where the level of cognitive resilience, this kind of defense against bullshit, if I may, has increased. And bullshit is an academic term now, so I can hopefully use it. You can beep it out if you want.
We actually have an article on EUvsDisinfo about BS as well.
All right.
So there you go, an academic term. What about people who are actually outside of the education system? How do you reach to those?
So yeah, I've often talked about radicalization, marginalization in the society, and a lot of these people they ultimately resort to things like conspiracy theories and marginalized communities, where there's a lot of radicalized thinking and even in some cases terrorism, acts of terrorism or sabotage. So it's another issue that is quite difficult to achieve. Is we have to build a better society that includes everybody in it. So people who feel marginalized, they should be included also in public debates and so on. So it's just this inclusion creates a more cohesive society that is kind of there is much less marginalized people, especially young men are in a high risk of being marginalized and then again even radicalized.
That sounds like a lot beyond your usual answer that you would get in terms of media and information literacy.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of these issues that, for example, Russian malign operation, influence operations, they focus on, the issues are real. The immigration, farmer protests, Black Lives Matter, they are real problems in a society that should be resolved. And by building a better society, we are more resilient to these operations coming, these influence operations coming from a foreign state. So it's a very big issue, of course, but this is just how I see it.
You have a show on YouTube where you are a master chef in the Soup Central, and correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It is correct.
It is correct. So in your show, what are some of the ingredients that you see way too often in this kind of a soup of disinformation that you...
So conspiracy theories already mentioned.
Yeah.
A lot of these people allegedly believe in many conspiracy theories. There's a lot of hypocrisy. So it's a worldview of people who, for example, spread pro-Kremlin narratives is extremely biased.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of anti-Western and anti-NATO sentiments, that those are usually there. But also, like if we look at, so Vatnik Soup focuses on people who spread and support pro-Kremlin narratives. If we look at, for example, what motivates these people, I have stolen an acronym from counterintelligence. It's MICE, M-I-C-E.
Mm-hmm.
So money, ideology, compromising material, and ego. So usually we can kind of put people under this umbrella when we kind of look out for motivations to spread Russian propaganda, for example.
Mm-hmm. And would you have an advice to someone who has a friend who believes as a follower of a conspiracy theory or is on the path of radicalization? How do you talk to such a friend?
I mean, just talk to them like you would to another human being or to a friend. I mean, I still think that these people should be listened to. Of course, whenever they publicly announce bullshit, they should be called out. But I think we should still have an open discussion on these topics, even though they may seem extremely like almost ridiculous to us. I think it's still a conversation that should be had. And I mean, just open dialogue is the key to resolve almost all issues.
From the top of your head, and this is my last question, what would be some books or movies or series that you would recommend to someone in order to get a little bit more information about propaganda, influence operations, and disinformation?
Peter Pomerantsev's book are amazing. I mean, if you want to understand how Russia operates, how their active measure system in general works, Geir Giles has good books. Catherine Belton. I have a book that came out last September. Can I pitch or?
So you're already doing it.
All right, I started already, so I'm going to continue. Vatnik Soup: The Ultimate Guide to Russian Disinformation. It's an easy read on a heavy topic, but I think it's a good book, even though I wrote it.
And with this, we're going to end. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.